Introducing the all-new Tucena Windseeker, and I believe I am pronouncing that correctly. Tucena is a Swedish brand, you see, so I don't think it's pronounced Tuceno. But hey, if you're from Sweden, please feel free to correct me in the comment section. Now, Swedish micro brands are a little bit of a rarity. They're not that common, and some people confuse Sweden with Switzerland. But this watch is Swedish, but it is also Swiss made. So we got a Swedish Swiss made sports watch. And you know what? I like the sound of that because Swedish design speaks to me. It's always clean and pleasant to the eye. The Windseeker is sleek and the case is well finished. The case design though reminds me more of a vintage skin diver. Think Squale or Seiko 62 MAS. It has their signature blunt cut-off lug tips. However, the tips are brushed here. Usually, they are high polished. They also brushed the top of the lugs, and they went with high polish for the sides of the mid-case. Oh, and I really like the subtle bevel. It's non-existent around the middle of the watch case, but then it gradually widens as it runs towards the lug tips. And moving up, we are greeted with the bezel. It's got a flat top with vertical brushing, followed by a large, high-polished bevel. Where the bevel ends, the bottom section is also brushed again. So we got alternating finishes, and it gives this sports watch an interesting look. If you've ever wondered how a vintage skin diver would look without its dive time bezel, the Windseeker is it. Now, the Windseeker does have a sapphire crystal, and it is absolutely flat. But it does sit just slightly proud of that bezel. And good news, the sapphire crystal is coated with anti-reflective coating on the underside. The clarity is excellent. You're not going to have any issues with legibility. Now let's do those dimensions. I got 39 millimeters in diameter and a secret measurement of 32.5. I got a thinness of 10.4, very nice. And we got no drilled lugs and a lug to lug of 47 even. The wingspan is pretty spot on for this size, but the larger dial combined with that flat, wide bezel, I think makes the Windseeker wear a little bit larger than its size indicates. Maybe more like a 40. But you guys be the judge on the wrist shots and let me know how it wears. I do love how thin it is. That's one of my favorite things in a watch, if it's thin. And this one hugs the wrist nicely and looks very sleek. Now, because the watch is so thin, the crown looks really big. And you know what? It is pretty big, coming in at 6.5 millimeters. There's a ton of grip, and it's embossed with the nautical-inspired Lighthouse Sector Star. That is their logo, and it looks pretty good. There's no clutch system on the crown, so while you're screwing in the crown, the movement will still be winding up. Not a big deal, but something to take note of, especially with the Sellita in here. Now, this screw down crown does help give the Windseeker a respectable 100 meters of water resistance. Now, flipping the Windseeker over, we are greeted by a sapphire display case back. It is not mineral, I did test it. And yes, we can see that Swiss movement. There's no decoration and there is no custom rotor. It's not the prettiest looking movement. And when the watch is this thin, I can excuse gaining a little bit of extra height with the display case backs. Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about the star of the show. Here is where the Swedish design comes through. That beautiful charcoal dial. It's officially called the Windseeker Black, but it's charcoal 100%. And if it's not your thing, it does come in blue and silver. And really, I think they all look great. There's no wrong answer here. Now back to the beautiful Sunray charcoal dial. It has those teak deck grooves that break up the pattern, and the dial has a soft metallic shimmer. It's so much better than the typical flat black dial finish. And being Swedish, this design is just so on point. No automatic, no water resistance cluttering up the dial. You just get the clean Tucena logo in white and Windseeker in yellow. And I like that they even painted the spearhead seconds hand to match right on the tip. It gives this watch just a little bit of pop. The hands are faceted, tapering swords, and they look clean and sharp. Now I gotta mention the applied hour markers, they are well done. They are flat at the top and have high polished bevels on the sides, which is a cohesive design element that we're gonna see on the bracelet later. So well done there. And finishing it all off is the chapter ring. It's a dark black, so it's darker than the dial, and it's textured, and it frames the dial, creating a subtle 2-layer effect. Overall, everything is great, but I do have one critique. It's gotta be the handset. I would have added some brushing on these handsets because the hour markers with the brushing really catch the light, but the handset sometimes disappear. Okay, moving on, let's check out the Lume. We got Swiss Super Luminova BGW9, and of course, I got no complaints with BGW9. It looks great. Now, let's talk about the bracelet. The bracelet on a watch is crucial. It can elevate the entire timepiece and really make it feel more premium, or it can drag everything down, and in the Windseeker's case, it absolutely elevates it. It's a 20mm flat oyster-style bracelet that tapers down to 18 at the butterfly clasp. Everything is solid, it feels high quality, the articulation is 100%, so it can fold amongst itself like an accordion, and it even has quick release spring bars. And yes, I know some of you will be complaining about the butterfly clasp. That is a weakness, but at least they give you 2 half links to help dial in the fit. All the links are brushed beautifully, and there's a crisp, high-polished bevel on the outer links. Overall, it's a pretty good bracelet. Alright, so what's powering the Windseeker? Well, it's none other than the Swiss-made SW200. It's got a smooth sweep, 28.8 VPH, it's got 26 joules, and 38 hours of power reserve. This is a workhorse movement, and it is the reason why the watch is so slim. The movement is only 4.6 millimeters thick. In my experience, these movements do about -7 to +10 straight from factory, but they can be easily regulated, and I did make a video on Swiss watch regulation, so be sure to check out that video if yours isn't up to par. Okay, now we've arrived to the big question. What is that price? Well, the Windseeker is going to set you back $699 USD. I don't know if there's any new tariffs on top of that. It's possible, but putting tariffs aside, that's not a bad price for what you're getting. I love the dial. The applied markers are great. Excellent bracelet, Swiss movement, 2 sapphires. Yeah, I think it's fair. But drop a comment, let me know what you think about the new Windseeker, or if you just want to say hi. That's fine too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.